Hi, my name is Erin Miller, and this is my final video project for King 4000. So, we were tasked with reading Tolstoy's novel, The Death of Ivan Illich, and as we read, we were supposed to consider what it means to live a life that has mattered. And quite simply, I think what we can discern from the novel is we can use it as a warning for readers. Take the main character, Ivan Illich, who was a man who lived most of his life indifferently. He lived passionately, didn't really care all that much about his marriage, didn't care all that much about his children. The only reason he threw himself into his work was because he was so dissatisfied in other areas of his life. He let work define him. He let others' validation and acknowledgments and pats on the back define him. But he quickly found that while he was on his deathbed, when he was recounting all of these pleasant memories, he didn't really have much to show for it, and he had numerous regrets. He goes on to say, but strange to say, none of these best moments of his pleasant life now seemed at all what they had seemed. All that had then seemed joyous now melted before his sight and turned into something trivial and often nasty. When you live life like Ivan Illich, when you're making decisions to make others happy or not putting thought or not looking for your calling and just kind of going through the monotonous day to day, you can't expect to have lived a life that matters. And of course you're going to have regrets on your deathbed. So this kind of leads us to our second question of what deep hunger in the world do I see myself being able to meet? I hope to never live life like Ivan Illich. I hope to live every day passionately. Right now, I believe my calling is in the healthcare field. I would like to go on and pursue my master's and then specialize and become a neonatal nurse practitioner. And I think that me serving a population that is so vulnerable and cannot advocate for themselves, that's what is my deep hunger. And as long as I'm pursuing that, then I'm meeting the deep hunger that the world needs. So this kind of leads us into our next question. How might the vocabulary we've been speaking about all semester, like authenticity, vocation, virtue, how would that help me make good judgments about leading a life that matters? And quite simply, as I said in the beginning, vocation and authenticity are the ones that I concern myself with the most. I have worked a very long time to live authentically. And I believe that so long as I'm pursuing my calling, pursuing my vocation, then at the end of the day, I can be satisfied and know that I'm living authentically because I'm living for myself. In Denise Levertov's Beginners, she says that there's too much broken that must be mended. And this spoke to me specifically in my vocation since I want to pursue a career in the healthcare field. There's so much wrong in our day-to-day life. And if I have the passion and the ability to make even just a little bit of a change to a family or a patient, a child, like that's all I can ever ask to do. Now, I know it's not always going to be simple. This kind of leads us into what challenges I think I'll face after I leave King. The healthcare field is not for the faint-hearted. It's going to take painstaking dedication and grueling hours, and it's not always going to be fun, but this just kind of reminded me of Matt Bloom's The Elusive Search for Balance. He says, what seems like balance today might not seem like it tomorrow, and even if we can achieve it, the changing world or our guilt would knock us out of balance once again. That's one of the biggest challenges, not necessarily the work or the sacrifices made to be in the healthcare field. I think it's just being okay redefining what balance means to me day to day, because not each day is going to look like the last. And I have to be okay and be flexible and redefine what balance is to me on a daily basis. And I think that's what's going to be the biggest challenge. But to speak positively, there are three moments that I specifically think about that kind of solidify my choices of what I want to do for the rest of my life to follow my calling. The transformative experience, if you will, that I've had during my college experience that has helped me kind of pursue my vocation. The first one is making a complete 180 and going from, an acting background and a performative background, special effects makeup background, and deciding that I was putting my own limits on my life and I was selling myself short. I've always had a passion for the healthcare world. And so one of the biggest moments was just deciding to go back to school and get all of my nursing prerequisites done, which leads me to the next transformative moment, which was actually applying to nursing schools. I was met with so many challenges just trying to get in. And there were times where I doubted myself that I was ever going to be accepted somewhere. So the next transformative moment would be my acceptance letter to King to be able to come and pursue nursing. And I guess the last transformative moment came this past year in our labor and delivery clinical setting, where I was able to spend time in the NICU and realize that that's where I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to specialize in. And it really helped me solidify the idea that getting my master's is something I have to pursue. That's where I'm meant to be in life. Something just clicked and felt right, and I never wanted to leave the unit. And so I guess that would be my last transformative moment. And I think all of those together have just really put me on the right track to pursue my calling, and it better equipped me to understand the challenges that are going to come with it. I guess if I had to impart any type of wisdom to anybody else, it would be this. No matter what you decide to do, whether that be healthcare, being a doctor, going and being an actress or a musician, it doesn't matter. So long as you're putting all of your efforts to accomplishing that dream for you, then that's all that matters. Just make sure that at the end of the day, you are making decisions that are best for you and your life, because again, at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to be living that life. So don't let others dictate your life for you. And I guess that in the end, what makes for a life that matters is being able to look back and not just see all the accolades or awards or trophies that you got, being able to sit around and see the lives that you've impacted, see the changes that you've made in the world that only you could have done. I think that's really what makes a life that matters. So, thank you.